Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Offside Hand.
The Authors podcast. In this episode, we review the recently concluded ODI series between India and South Africa. Talk about everything, right? We had Rocco to celebrate and sort of enjoy. Seems like they're back to their best days. So we talk more about that, the overall performance, the sort of midfield mix-up, overall bowling review as well of the team. Join us,
Cheers. Hey Arvind,
Ashley. How are you?
doing okay? How are you?
I'm good. I think it has been good day for sports overall. We can argue which results went our way, which didn't, but we'll focus on the ones that went our way.
Yeah. I don't know if you, just before we go on our rants and our conversations about cricket and
Mhm.
the football at the end, but just a sport which I know we both follow, but it's not part of our remit. Verstappen took pole.
He took pole. I don't know. I somehow, yeah, which is interesting. I think he's been driving really sharp and surprisingly, no, not surprisingly, I shouldn't say. Red Bull have also sort of tinkered and tweaked all of as much they could and given him the best possible car, at least in the recent races.
Hmm.
I'm personally supporting Lando just for
Hmm.
the overall consistency. I mean, honestly, I'm like a Leclerc and Ferrari supporter, but they were nowhere. They're nowhere in the race. So I would want Lando to win just because one, he's been consistent throughout the season. Two, um, just to break the sort of monopoly for a lack of a better term. I mean, it was as good as good as a driver Verstappen is. You need a change that will sort of keep the rivalry on. So, but even if the race finishes as is, Lando wins. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, let's see. But Verstappen, man, he's been like brutal in the sense that he's been on the money. He's been doing nothing wrong, and he truly like thrives under pressure. Like
Yeah.
he hasn't put one foot wrong, which is incredible. So great.
Speaking about thriving under pressure,
Mhm.
Virat Kohli, what do you have to say?
Man, classically, dude. Like it is. I think he also mentioned this in the interview post match. It seems like he's the Kohli of 2 or 3 years ago. Is just like
Maybe even
is
before. I think this reminds me of the Kohli of 2016 to 19 when he was
you
just
could, yeah, you could
hammering.
say so. Definitely looks like he's back to his prime. Uh, Clearly an indicator that a lot of it is mental. He also said that he feels much more lighter and is much more sort of focused, all of that. So which is great, and it's just pure joy to watch him play, man. Like some of the shots, he is. I don't know if you specifically remember that no look six of
Yeah.
his. I think it was to Corbin Bosch. Oh my goodness,
I
that
mean
is.
that sort of is so classic Kohli, right? Like you see an opponent do something, and then Kohli takes it upon himself to say, "I'm gonna mock you with that same action." If you remember, Riley Russo did the bazooka whatever celebration after getting him out. Kohli did the same, and then
You know what? Yes, sorry, go for it. I don't want
this
to.
is this is Devont Brevis. Brevis hits that shot. He hit a shot like pretty much look down.
You could. That is actually a very nice, parallels. I definitely didn't think of that way. But this classier Kohli, I like this
Yeah,
better than the one who's, call it more up on your,
flippant.
face. And it somehow looks borderline all of antics and theatrics. And it seems like he does all of that to sort of cover up for his, whatever, you know, cover for his not so great performances on the field. But I'm glad whatever said and done, it's just beautiful to sort of watch him play, and I just hope it sort of settles the. I'll include
Debate.
Rohit as well. The Roko debate, uh, overall, clearly nothing else to prove. Vice versa, it's if it shows anything, it's we like the Indian team needs them more so than them needing to be
Maybe.
in this team. So, uh,
It's so
that,
funny. The first two ODIs in Australia, they both looked clueless, like absolutely
yeah.
clueless, nowhere near the bat. And then in the third ODI, which eventually was inconsequential in the scheme of the series, but both of those
Yeah,
came in form and then they're just ripping it apart here.
Y-
I mean, I don't know if it is like, see, if we consider this like, oh, they're back to their best, maybe the first two ODIs in Australia were a knee-jerk reaction, or if that is what we expect from them coming out of a break, they've played three there, and in a
Exactly.
few weeks they're playing three here. Maybe the rhythm is actually what is getting them the form. Then maybe that, like, this is a knee jerk reaction. Like, either ways, we need to really be a little calmer in the sense that now, okay, they're
Yes.
they're, they're in supreme form. Like, no, their class was never in question. But I would again like to see them play if they have a break for whatever reason. Play
Yeah,
ODI.
you bring up a great point. I also agree on the fact that it was just, match practice or rhythm.
Yeah,
And you're absolutely right. Like, fortunately or unfortunately, they are probably going to hit a lull again. Like, it's just impossible for any sports person to sort of, withhold that apex form for like, 10-20 games together. So they are going to fail somewhere. I just hope we overall, as like the fan base and audience, don't start questioning them. I don't think like the true sort of, fans, or who sort of understand the game in good respect, don't really do that. But then there's so much white noise around their performance that it often gets used as a, as a, I don't know, just as a gossipy thing that, people want to dink on them and, find reasons. So yeah, I'm sure they're gonna fail, unfortunately. But then, I hope we sort of have their backs and not be like start raising questions on that, because that point in time, I believe it would be too late in the sense,
like,
too late in the run up of games to the next World Cup. So I I really hope we sort of, back them and sort of give them that grace.
but I mean, Virat Kohli looked supreme in the series. Like, three ODI
Beautiful, man.
matches in
Yep.
three different. I will say he came in and batted in three different scenarios. In the sense that in the first game, like, we saw that stat where he hit seven sixes or five sixes before he got
Hmm.
to 50 or something. Like, that was something that was unheard of or unseen from Kohli.
Yep.
That was something we saw. And then in the second match, it was a trickier wicket, and India was in a bit of bother at that point when him and Ruturaj came together. And then they basically just like kind of built a brilliant partnership. We ended up on the losing side. That's not because of them, it's other factors. But they built a brilliant partnership. And then this like third ODI where he came in when India was pretty much in the driving seat, were winning it easily, but he still kept up that momentum, hit those sixes, boundaries, scored at more than 100 strike rate, and looked pretty much on point. So it is unbelievable to see him and Rohit to some extent like keep up that energy and keep up that form and show that class is permanent. But yeah, I would still like to temper the excitement around it a little bit to see
Sure.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
like how they play, because see, now you have a
Yeah.
New Zealand ODI series, which I think, I'm sure they'll rock it given that the
Is
series right
do,
now.
do you know, is it in India or is it in like New Zealand? Are we touring New Zealand or they're coming over here?
That's a good question. I do not know. I do not know. We
Let me
need
look
to,
it up real quick.
yeah, please.
Yeah.
I'll also have a quick check. Man, that's actually a good point that you brought up.
Looks like it's India. It says India versus New
New Zealand
Zealand.
tour of India is what.
Oh no, yeah, yeah. Vadodara International Cricket Stadium.
January
Yeah.
10th to whatever, so it's New Zealand tour of India. Okay, so because see,
Yeah.
again, it's gonna be just a month, and it'll
All right,
be
that's good. It's sort of, and given that the World Cup, T20 World Cup is in India, I
Hmm.
think it's good, good match practice and sort of, getting acclimatized to the other conditions. And I think even that series has like five T20s.
Ah,
So overall, we have like 10 T20s running into the World Cup.
yeah. So I mean,
So that's really
eventually,
good.
even that ODI series is gonna be in like in a month's time in India. I
Yes.
expect Kohli and Rohit to keep up that form to basically dominate. So I will still like to see after that. I think it will be IPL for them. And
Hmm.
after IPL, maybe I don't know when will be our next ODI. So that is when the true test will be whether they are in form going into the World Cup or not.
For sure. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna sort of make this a segue into the next topic as well as play devil's advocate. Let's say they do fail. meaning
Hmm.
both Rohit and Kohli fail, we've sort of we sort of have Jaiswal and Gaikwad in good rhythm as well. So not that I am suggesting anything, just playing devil's advocate here and sort of broaching
No,
a topic.
I will actually say for both the players, if you think about it, see, it's difficult to make a judgment call based on three ODIs
Of
where like
course,
Ruturaj failed in the first, scored 100 in the second, didn't bat in the third. Jaiswal failed in the first two, but the recent innings is one where he scores 100. So, and of course, like when Shubman Gill is fit, he walks into this team because I mean
he's
that's
the captain of the team. Let's
yeah, he is the captain of the team, right? So pretty much if you think about it, and honestly, Shreyas Iyer is the vice captain. So if Shreyas Iyer is
yeah,
fit,
yeah,
he walks into this team. So given that, like you don't really know what like who is in store for both Ruturaj and Jaiswal.
yeah,
So
yeah. Here is what I was suggesting. I didn't want to, at the expense of not sounding controversial, I didn't sound it out exactly. My proposal, my suggestion was, would you consider Jaiswal as a replacement for Rohit as an opener, and Gaikwad to come in the middle order? Maybe once Shreyas gets back, he can go to number three, and again, I'm just prompting a discussion here. I don't mean to say that that should happen. Again, is this? But you rightly said three ODIs are little or nothing. It's just insignificant to
yeah,
sort of judge them. But it's definitely good to see them on good nicks and get
yeah.
good knocks. Personally, I know you are as well. It's just good to see them both do well, and Jaiswal as well. Jaiswal showed the fact that if he can keep his head down, focus, and then sort of apply himself, it would be great. And one thing I observed, I watched the entire India chase this
Wow.
morning, and I observed this very consciously that he went on to speak to both Rohit and subsequently Kohli in between overs, and I'm sure vice versa. They both being at the non-strikers end definitely help Jaiswal keep his calm. I'm sure there was some kind of call it transfer of wisdom, and I personally think that he definitely needs that. Jaiswal as well. I don't think skill is of any question. It is that he's at that point in time of his sort of career or phase, I would say, where he just needs like an arm around his shoulder and someone senior most in the team who's been through the same sort of ups and downs or curves or phases can sort of help him walk him through that. I'm sure he's getting that guidance, but vice versa, I'm also hoping that he continues to sort of apply himself and make the most of his chances.
I think see with like Jaiswal, there are two issues I see. One, there definitely has been a technical flaw which is being exploited
Yep,
by Janssen especially and Andre Berger, where as a left arm pacer they are able to get him out either cutting or defending in that corridor of uncertainty just outside off. He
yep,
has gotten out to that exact same delivery or that region
yep,
in the test matches as well as in the ODI series. So definitely that is something that is I will say a technical flaw which has been identified,
for
which is
sure,
something
yes.
that even Virat Kohli had, like something like
Yeah,
this. So
correct.
once a flaw is found, international cricket is brutal. They don't let it go. So
But
he has to definitely work on fixing that technically. But to the second point, you're right. I see again Yashasvi Jaiswal. We've seen him
I
grow for
do
the
think,
past 5 years.
yep,
He Off late, I see a lot more podcasts from him, and I see a lot of failures and a lot of mistakes and errors on the field from him. I'm
yeah. Oh,
saying
as a
that
fielder, man, he has to. He's
I'm not
terrible.
saying they're correlated, but I'm just saying probably at this point he needs to put his head down, focus on
Agreed.
what is actually bring taking him to the places which is
Yep.
just cricket. He needs to bring that cricket out, and then yeah, I mean start from scratch.
Yeah,
I would say.
I think he showed application today, so I'll definitely give him or acknowledge the fact that he does have it in him. He did show that he can curb his instinct and not
Mm,
go after the balls outside often. He, especially if you look at his 50, it was much like very patient. I'm not
yeah.
sure about the exact balls, but I think he took some 70, 75 deliveries to get
Mm.
to 50. and then he got to his 100 of 110 balls.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is yeah, this might be a far-fetched conversation, sorry, far-fetched comparison. I was going to say, like, how back in the day Rohit paces his innings, sort of absorbs the pressure and, faces enough balls
Mhm.
and then gets going. He probably ought to, like, use the same formula. And he can, of course, replicate that in test as well.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Everything's there. It just needs to be channeled correctly,
Eh,
and that's what you were saying, which is totally fair. But again, at least in ODIs and T20s in the next year and a half, unless there are injuries, I don't see him getting that opportunity. We'll see.
yeah,
Yeah,
true.
but
We'll
it's
see.
I would
I have a
say,
question
yeah.
on.
Go on, go on, go on.
I was going to say, I have a question for you on Jaiswal itself. Do you think he is bogged down by the pressure to do well in T20s as well? In the sense, he knows that he's a starter in Test. He knows that he's, call it, in the fringes, or pretty much like the first choice replacement for any opener. But then in T20, he's nowhere near the fold. You think that is playing on his mind, and him being that, call it, restless, naive, or the kid, not a new kid on the block, but he's still young and a bit immature on the front, that he wants to prove himself on T20, on the T20 format as well. That's sort of causing him to, like, do more mistakes and hence
No,
impacting his.
honest, at this point, see, I will say it's a paradox. This Indian team in tests, for all of its embarrassment of riches, is losing left, right, and center, like pretty much in tests, as we've seen. But this same Indian team, with pretty much few players up and down,
Mhm.
is seemingly dominating ODI and T20 cricket. Now, eventually, does that mean, I would say, from a player's perspective, there is absolute pressure to make every opportunity count. Like, for example, Sanju Samson. Like, he scored 200s, it was gaga, everybody was over him. And then he failed for a couple of series, and then bam, he's out. Like, nowhere to be seen. Then you have a Ruturaj Gaikwad. Came in T20, scored 100 against Australia.
Mhm.
Wow, what a player. And then nowhere to be seen for a few years. Similarly, like you have players who have literally fall, like Shreyas Iyer for that matter. Like in T20s, despite being the captain of Punjab Kings, taking them to the final, being one of the top scorers in the league at number three, scoring so many runs, nowhere to be seen in the fold for T20 cricket. So the competition is definitely cutthroat, and that's why probably, and the style that he plays, see, in IPL he scored some 6 7 50s in T20, and everyone was at a strike rate of close to 200. He was just smacking from ball one. When you
Mhm.
try to play that brand of cricket, you are bound to see failures. It's not like you're going to succeed every time. You're bound to fail. The problem is, if you're a player who is, there is nobody who's like you, or if you're the only one, like for example, say what Abhishek Sharma seems to be at this point, where
Mhm.
Indian team
Mhm.
thinks there is only one Abhishek Sharma, there is no replacement for him. So, and he hasn't failed, to his credit. But if he starts failing, whether people will start questioning to say, hey, there is somebody else who's exactly like you whom we can bring in. But for
Yeah.
Yashasvi, I feel they don't think of him as that unique skill set in either an ODI or a T20 at this point, because it's a shorter format, there are so many options and all.
Yeah, sure.
So maybe that is definitely playing on his mind, in the sense that he wants
Mhm.
to prove, score that at his opportunity, and that's the brand of cricket that he plays. So if he scores a 20 and gets out, we're gonna feel like, dude, you had so much time, you could score. But I mean, that's the nature of it. But yeah, I mean, I will say his time will come. See, Rohit and Virat aren't going to be around forever. They'll probably, I would,
Yeah.
they're targeting the 27 World Cup. Post the World Cup, I'm sure the Indian cricket team would also want to move to a more younger crop. And at this point, if Rohit
Fair.
retires, having been in the fray for years at this point, I will think he's the natural replacement for Rohit in ODIs,
Yep.
where right left combination as well. Gill opens as a
Yep.
righty, he plays as a lefty. That will be it. And in T20, it's a different ball game. I don't really know what Indian cricket is thinking, but yeah, I mean, to answer you, That's what I think. Like it's a combination of the style that he plays, the pressure, as well as the want to do it. Yeah.
Fair enough.
But actually, now transitioning from openers to the middle order, like see, Kohli, Rohit, and we don't really need to say more. They're
Yep.
unbelievable. In the middle order, Ruturaj seems to have, at least through one innings, found a name for himself where people are like, okay, we can give him another chance. But what do you have to say about our the rest of our middle order? Like I feel like once Shreyas comes in, I'll say Shreyas walks in instead of Ruturaj.
Oh, yeah, yeah, for sure.
Is that?
No,
But then in
yeah.
terms of number five, six, seven, eight for that, I'll say eight also. Jadeja, I'll include Jadeja because he wasn't great with the bat or the ball in this series.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
you have Jadeja. They preferred
KL,
Washington Sundar. They have KL and
Akshar,
no,
Akshar
so
and
who are
Nitish.
the four people that they played in this series? Like four, five, six, seven. Um,
They played,
oh,
they played Washi.
right.
They played
Washi,
Washi,
KL, Jadeja, and then Harshit.
Jadeja. Yep.
Right. They were the four. So, what do you think about these four positions? Like, what do you think you can read from this series and going forward?
I think there's a lot of call it midfield or middle order mix up in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like that is uh, as much as call it mix and match and swapping positions looks good, comes good more often than not in T20. And that I think I come to realizing that I think is a function of them getting to bat only 120 balls. So, a batter coming in at 4, 5, 6, 7 and doing something, creating that impact matters more than in, say, a ODI, where not I think, where I believe that there needs to be more stability. And what I mean by that is KL cannot be batting at number 6. I think he came in at number 6 in the first innings. I'm sorry, for the first ODI. Still scored a 60, great. But like someone of his caliber, even 5 seems atrocious, but unfortunately, there is just no place anywhere else in the team, and uh, hence I would sort of settle for 5. One, two is he over the last I think 2 3 years has proven that he is more than a reliable, capable middle
Number
order
five.
batter in ODI. So hands down, he has to come at number 5. No left hand, right hand, no
Cool.
all of that BS.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. For me, it is sealed. Like he has to be number 5 for
Number
sure.
five. Okay.
Yeah. Now 6, 7, 8 is probably where you have some element of flexibility. Now that doesn't mean that, and let me explain. There's a difference between flexibility and having the sort of free will or free pass to experiment. And what I mean by that is you probably have 4 to 5 all rounders. If you let's just start naming them: Washi, Jadeja, Akshar, Nitish. All right, you have 4 all rounders.
Hardik Pandya.
Oh my goodness, dude! Okay. Wow.
Reset.
That exactly that has just tossed everything out. Okay, Pandya walks in at number 6.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone else. I'm so sorry. I dude, like I forgot him. Not that he's been doing anything great to remember him,
He's been
but
injured for a while.
he's been injured. But him, the name and the energy, the vibe that he brings, and the dynamism he brings in. Oh God, like for sure. Plus the most reliable fast bowling all-rounder we have.
Yep.
Let's agree to that.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
No
number
question.
6 is when he's ready and available. Pandya is number 6.
Yeah.
That was a blunder, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's coming
And
into the T20s now. He's going to play the T20 series against South Africa, so we'll know what kind of rhythm he comes in.
yes, and I hope he does well. So then number 6 is done.
Yeah.
Then I would say what 7, 8, who 7 and 8, I think depends on the conditions. And what I mean with that is like, do you want to have an Akshar or a Jadeja or a Washi? Washi, I think, was given 2 chances
Two chances. He
this
flopped
series.
bad.
Um, Depends if you are what are you looking at, meaning if you're looking at the batting or the bowling. Bowling, I would
Okay.
not judge him. He was given like couple of overs each games. That's way too little for for a bowler to be judged. And I think he did like some 3 overs 18, 4 overs 30, something like that. Um, an economy of 6 to 7 runs in the first 4 overs, man, we can make an argument and be like maybe he could have finished with the figure of 10 overs, 50 for four. So, point I'm saying to say is, yeah, he didn't really do much in terms of his bowling. Batting, yeah, definitely, didn't really do much. I think he one game he got run out. That was pathetic for a lack of a better term.
No, more than anything, right? I will say at the number he's coming in, at number 7,
Is less effective.
it's not suited to him. Like
Yeah.
honestly, I want, like as we say, right? Number 6 is Hardik Pandya. Why? Because he pushes the game forward. He can be
Yep.
that accelerator. We lost the second ODI purely because Jadeja and Washington Sundar were not able to provide that
Get
finishing.
going. Agree. Yeah, yeah.
And
Jadeja batted some 30 balls, but didn't really get going. Yep.
exactly, and even in the infamous World Cup final, you had the same problem for India where Surya Kumar Yadav in a similar
Oh my
position
God.
could not do the same. No, I mean, the point is we need to really stop looking at somebody as a good batsman, he can do anything, versus decide, dude, you're a finisher, you have to go and attack and hit. I don't care how you are
Yep.
technically, I don't care how you look. You score me those 30 of 20 or 40 of 25, like at that point. I want that from you. And I think all three of them, Hardik, no, not Hardik, Washington, Jadeja, and Aksar, I'm not sold on them doing that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Akshar, I would say, as a batter, has done reasonably well, like
yeah.
decent. I'd say decent, but when he has done well, he's also come up the order, like at
Mm,
number 4 or 5.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that again doesn't support our argument saying that, hey, can he come at number 7, number 8,
yeah,
and do like that 20 ball, 30 or 40, which is the sort of impact you need.
yeah. Yeah,
Which also gets me thinking that outside of Pandya, I don't think we have anyone coming that down the order and being able to create that much of an impact.
yeah.
Which
Which is a problem.
which
Which is
then
honestly a
thing goes.
problem. Yeah, because everybody bats
I'd say
decent.
it is a problem. And you know what? You know what? How they will counter this problem is they will drag Pandya down, and instead of him making him go at number 6, they will hold him back, send him at 7 or 8, knowing that he can get you the 10 ball 20-30, and have a Washington or Jadeja who are placed, make them, or even an Akshar, make them play, a position up so that they can go in and, whatever, like, play those 20-30 balls and score that 20-30 runs.
Oh man, it is. I feel like we are, like the experimentation has gone on so much where you are not entirely sure who your first choice players are for
Yep.
certain positions. I will say, like that is what is the biggest problem. But as you are actually spot on. I am sure we're gonna see Hardik
That
Pandya
is how they will
lower.
counter the,
Yeah,
yeah.
Hardik Pandya will come down. Aksar will or Jadeja will go up, left-hander, and they will go up the order, and then Pandya will go down. Which is, I don't agree, but fair. But I think one thing I think we both have not spoken about yet, the biggest player whom everybody is pretty much criticized at number
Hmm.
8, a certain Harshit Rana, has
Yeah.
actually grabbed his opportunity with both hands, both feet, his mouth, everything in this series.
has clung onto it. No, yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Dude, I mean, to think in the first ODI, he took 4 or 3, whatever.
I think he took 3, but he also took 2 wickets in the first over or the first spell, which
Correct.
was crucial.
Mm.
He broke the South African spine that game.
Even I think in the
So
second ODI, he was one, other than Arshdeep, he was one of our better bowlers in that
oh yeah,
match.
yeah, correct. He got the wickets later in the innings. I think when the batters were trying to hit, but doesn't mean it's any less. But he couldn't really give us the breakthrough that we would have wanted up the order. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
He was definitely in the bowling department. He
Mm.
was standout amongst the resources we had. I'd probably put it that way. I still have my sort of comms around the overall bowling lineup
Mm.
or the bowling prowess we have when Bumrah is not playing.
Mhm.
But I definitely say he was pick of the bowlers who played.
Actually,
So
I'll say the pick of the bowlers was Arshdeep because I thought Arshdeep up the order, like with the new
he,
ball. He was consistent, like pretty much in all 3 games. He was so tight, he was
I
so
agree.
consistent, and he
Tight is
took a
the
wicket.
the right word. He was. he was defensive in the sense he put the pressure on. He
Mhm.
was tight with his line and length. Though his wickets column don't say like whatever three, four, five wickets, but you are absolutely right. He actually bowled well in terms of being able to like keep the pressure on and be disciplined for a lack of a better word.
He is one player who has been very unlucky because of Bumrah and Hardik Pandya's ability to take the new ball in the Indian team. Because,
Yes.
yeah, if they play, Arshdeep doesn't find a team in Indian country. But
Yes. I mean, I would say yes, or I agree to it when it comes to T20s, bro. But I think in ODIs, if we play, we should play two pacers, and what we should play three pacers. I'm counting Hardik Pandya as the third, and hence I'm going to say two main like your opening bowlers. He has to be there. I like there is no, in my opinion, there is no doubt about it. One, he will complement Bumrah well overall, right left
Mhm,
combination. He definitely swings the ball enough. I'm not going to say he's like a world beater, but does
mhm,
get some movement off the ball, which is good, which is a good
mhm.
skill to have. So I will definitely want him in the 11. Like in terms of our opening options, I
Yeah.
would definitely want him and be the opening pair bowler for a Bumrah.
Yeah. And in this, so I mean, so eventually in your all rounders like Washington, Nitish, Aksar, and Jadeja, whom would you
Mhm.
pick as your number seven? Like, let's say if you had to pick one.
I would wow. In terms of and it's a very tough question, dude. Like, and what I'm struggling with is I'm also trying to keep in mind that the next World Cup is going to be in South Africa,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and basically what I'm trying to highlight is the conditions.
mm-hmm,
Like South Africa is bouncy and it's
mm-hmm.
not going to be like at least this. If I know Durban, I think there's only one pitch in
Yeah.
there or one stadium in there that you actually see some turn.
Mm-hmm,
Reckoning all that, I'd probably go for Washi now. And what I mean by Washi now is today, if I were to make 11 to go play that World Cup in USM, I would add Washi there. And this is discounting his performance in the last two games. This is considering the fact that he's in the right trajectory. I hope assume that he continues to go down that path and becomes a better player in 2 years down the line, both in the batting and the bowling department. I think he can be a good all rounder who can come pitch in with the ball and bat, and then conditions will suit him as well for his skill set.
my choice is different. I would
Akshar.
go with Akshar Patel, but the
Hmm.
reason, like, firstly, I think he can push the game further more than Washington at number seven, number eight at that position.
Yep.
But the second, this is something we need to really talk about. His fielding is not perfect, but it's way better than Washington. At this point, how crap we were in this series, like I was watching a podcast, The First Umpire. Dude, they were actually highlighting who are your best fielders in this team, or like, can you even call this a good fielding team? And it was so
Mhm.
damning to see how they were going through the list. Rohit
Yep.
is old. Yashasvi,
Rohit.
I mean, we've seen him drop sitters and misfield and
Yeah.
misjudge in tests and in ODIs. So like you have Yashasvi with that. Kohli, I think, is our best fielder. Like, which is so
Oh
unfortunate to
yeah.
say that at
I
37
think
year
I'd
old is that.
probably put Rohit Kohli and Jadeja all in the same bucket. Like they are equally good. Of
No,
course, you
I
can
think
argue.
I think out of the three, Kohli is, I would say, given what I mean, I would say Kohli is the best among the three at this point because Rohit can't field in the outfield. Kohli can.
Yes.
Jadeja
Yes.
and Kohli is a close game, but I feel like Kohli obviously earns his place in the team better than,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, current conditions,
As
whatever.
as a fielder, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I will say Kohli, and then you think about it, right? Ruturaj, not a great mover. Now
He,
you saw today there was a catch which went over the slip. He didn't even react.
I
Like,
know,
he
I know,
didn't react.
yes.
So I
He
could
was
have,
like he was gesturing that whatever. He was
yeah,
gesturing that.
exactly. And I've seen him drop catches in IPL as well. So Ruturaj, you have a
Hey,
certain
on
what?
the
Yeah,
I know Shreyas was not in the team today, but I'd probably say Shreyas is a solid fielder as well.
Shreyas is a very good
Maybe
fielder.
not in the same bucket. And the fact that he got injured if you
catching.
remember in Australia, trying to go for that catch,
Yeah.
just
No,
signifies that
$100%.
he'd
As
give
a
it his all.
fielder, I would rate Shreyas above, like 100%. But that's the point, right? Like, if you think about it, your number five is KL. See, now KL is a keeper.
Here is a keeper. Dude, let's talk about our captain Gill. I am honestly not very. He's probably better than Ruturaj, but
Hmm.
I'm probably going to get slack to say this. He's not like the most assured fielder. If you remember, I think it was the T20s in Australia. It was that one, or even actually two or three games. In one of these games, I remember Washi came on to ball. He missed a sitter at long off. Like he you could argue whatever light, reflection, and anything and everything
Hmm.
that played, but the fact that he didn't catch that, I'm just citing one example I know, but wow. But I think he on his day, I mean that is probably true for any player, but he is. I'd probably rate him like a 7.5, 8 out of 10 in terms of fielding. Like he's
No,
not
I
like
would
the
say,
he's not
given.
Kohli level yet.
No, I'll say whatever we've seen in the series, he'll be better than what we saw in the series. Like,
Oh, for
I
sure,
can say.
yes.
So that way, I give him a pass on it. But
Hmm.
like, if you go beyond five, right? Washington, dude, he doesn't run. Like you saw that catch that for off Harsh. I think Arshdeep's bowling. He didn't even put an effort. He wasn't even quick enough to get to the ball, which was a
Yeah.
big red flag for me and the run out as well. So that's one. You have Harshit Rana, of course, doesn't move well. You have Kuldeep, horrendous fielder. The ball hits him and goes for a boundary.
Yep.
Then you have Arshdeep again, very lazy, doesn't dive, doesn't put his. He's safe if the catch is at a upper height where he doesn't have to bend. But if he bends,
Hmm.
horrible fielder. Bumrah, not the best fielder. Like, and if as a replacement you bring in a certain Siraj or you bring in a Varun Chakravarti, horrible fielders again. Dude,
Agreed.
pretty much you think Hardik Pandya when he comes in, he's gonna be your one of your top fielders.
Sorry, Philly.
It's actually very scary given that in a lot of other teams they are actually pulling off games with their fielding, like we saw in the
Hmm.
2020 World Cup as well.
Yep.
So it is a big deal, and we really need to work on it. Like how I don't have the technical expertise to say, but we do
Yeah.
need to improve our fielding for sure.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with the point. There is, yeah, I don't even want to go that route. Like,
Yeah.
I still remember one of the catches Jaiswal took in the second ODI. He had a sigh of relief. Like, he actually sighed on, I mean, I don't want to say on screen, like everything is on screen these days, but he was actually relieved to take that catch because he had already dropped one, the Makram catch that he dropped, bro. Like, I would yeah, this is probably a vent now. I'd probably pin it on him that day that
Yeah.
the we can argue that the whole dynamics of the game could have changed had we got Markram for 50 or 60 and him going to score on 100 from there.
But I mean that's actually a big deal. Like we have a fielding problem, and then coming back to bowling, Prasid Krishna, very like the funniest thing is I saw how badly he played in the first two games, and then I saw the first two overs he bowled today,
Uh-huh.
and then I went to sleep. I texted my family, my brothers, like haha Prasid Krishna, ha ha ha, and then like face palm. Then I went to sleep. I woke up and I saw he's taken 4 wickets. I'm like, what are the odds? What are the odds?
So yeah, I think we were also discussing this, of via messages. I would say that I'd give him some grace, some slack, saying that yeah, okay, he's probably because he's one of the good options we have, and beyond good we have better and best as well. So he's probably my third degree of selection. I'll also recollect. I think I did mention this on this very same podcast that he could be a long term like an Ishan Sharma replacement from the fact or from the perspective that he has that height advantage, and he's also the hit the deck bowler, hit the deck hard kind of a bowler. The lines he bowls or I would say the lines he thrives the most when bowling is that like between that 6 to 8 meter mark, which is,
Lengths, I think.
I'm sorry, I mean length. Point I'm trying to make is he that suits his skill set in terms of his sprints. But the unfortunate bit in part is that skill set doesn't do well in all the pitches throughout the world. So if I'm reckoning South Africa as the end goal, then I'd probably continue to keep him in the squad and play him as often as he can, so that he can sort of extract the best out of those bouncy pitches there. And I didn't see this. I heard this in another podcast. Apparently, between the overs or after Prasid got hit, Kale walked down to him and spoke something in Kannada and lightly asked him to keep it simple, hit the line and length, and probably follow his instructions. And his being Kale, and that started to work for him later in the in later in the innings. And also the 2 wickets he got was of like good length balls. The lengths that he usually doesn't bowl,
Yeah,
he got KDK for almost a Yorker.
yeah.
Point I'm trying to say is he moved out of his so-called comfort zone of the 6 to 8 meter mark, and that got him wickets. And we'll acknowledge the fact that he could be better. There are games he looks horrendous. He isn't able to build pressure, and which is difficult and adds more pressure on other bowlers. But reckoning I would say limited resources we have overall, like I feel we have the problem of riches and plenty in the batting front, in the middle order front, arguably in the all-rounder front. Not so convinced there, but bowling, I feel we are still heavily reliant on a Bumrah, and on a good day maybe a Varun or a Kuldeep, depending on who clicks. Like
Yeah.
overall, we we need bowlers who can be much more potent, and much more like teams who can be actually be fearful of these bowlers more.
No, I think my biggest, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, in the sense that Prasid, maybe given the right instructions, can be a good bowler and he has the skill sets. But my biggest problem is for Prasid to work, you need, again, the same problem of he is not consistent. He needs people around him to be good,
I
where, yeah,
I was going to bring this up. I'm sorry, I'm cutting you. You mentioned this in one of the messages we exchanged, that you need a Nehra who's continuously, in his ears and be like, bro, like the
here,
X
here,
mark
here.
here. This is where you bowl.
No,
You
I
need
mean,
someone to be telling that.
for a bowler who was unbelievable in the IPL and has been very hot and cold throughout, like he's had amazing innings, he's had horrendous innings, like all the complete range. Now, with the IPL coming in next year, if I see him back to his best, I'm going to really give Nehra kudos for actually managing him so well, because I feel like when he is given a free rein, he tends to give boundary balls way too often as opposed to anybody else, which is a problem. And at this point in this team, like honestly, as a pure makeup, you can have bowlers in 8, 9, 10, 11 for this Indian team. And the way this Indian team is playing, number 8, they want an all rounder who can bat or somebody who can bat. So in terms of 9, 10, 11, Bumrah is fit, Bumrah comes in. Your second bowler can, like, if it's an Indian condition, if you play two spinners, Varun and Kuldeep, locked in. So you
Yep.
have your three bowlers, and then your fourth player is going to be the number 8 player, who, given India wants a batting player, it will be Harshit Rana, because Harshit
Oh,
Rana offers the
yes.
same as what Prasid does, in the sense that he's a hit the deck bowler and he,
Yes.
like, go anchor the batsman and he bowls a slower one and all. But he is also good with the newer ball and can bowl at the death. And actually, one thing was which was very obvious and pointed out was that Harshit Rana's slower ones are slightly more difficult to play and spot than Prasidh Krishna. Prasidh Krishna's slower ones seem to be very obvious, where the batsmen are actually standing up and banging him over.
Yep.
So that way, I feel it's gonna be Harshit Rana over Prasidh Krishna at this point in ODI and T20, if there is ever a choice. So yeah, I mean, having said that, we have to give, I mean, Harshit Rana first his flowers. He did greatly well in this series to actually take all the critics off his back, to actually deliver with the ball, to show up in moments when, like in the difficult times, he bowled the difficult overs and he bowled well. Like that is
Yes.
one. I will definitely give him that credit. And Prasid, I'll say missed his opportunity. He missed his opportunity with the ball, and now I feel in the
Hmm.
pecking order it's going to be Bumrah, Siraj, Arshdeep, Harshit Rana, and then Prasidh Krishna.
Hey, I have a question there. I agree. The only thing, point of contention, I think is Siraj. Do you think Siraj is even in the fold for ODIs? I don't think so. No more.
I
Especially after Harshit Rana doing as
No,
well.
that's a fair point. That's a fair point. I don't see Indian team has been experimenting with the players throughout the last year. Like in
Yeah.
Australia, they didn't pick a certain like
See.
a Jadeja. They took Aksar. Here,
Mhm.
they didn't pick Aksar. They played Jadeja. Nitish played there. Nitish didn't play here. So India is going all over the place. So I don't really know whom they consider to be their best
And
11.
and and remind me, Siraj didn't play Champions Trophy, correct?
No, it was Shami, right? Shami
Correct.
was the opening bowler for us in Champions Trophy.
Okay, yeah, he didn't do much, but I just wanted to what
No, no. I mean,
confirm my
in the
thought.
Champions Trophy that we won, Shami was amazing, right? Shami had this amazing comeback where he took five against, was it Pakistan or was it Afghanistan? I don't
Dude,
remember who.
what am I missing then? Am I missing something? Here is where I'm getting lost. Then why did, after having done so well, like quote unquote fitness was the only reason Shami didn't get a chance back in the Indian team? I
No,
know
I
there was
think,
IPL. There was
no, yeah.
IPL after.
So
Okay,
I think
okay.
Champions Trophy came before IPL because it was a longer format and whatever India thought of
Of
that.
course, to be in the test squad, you need to do well in IPL. So I'm sorry, I forgot the run up. Sorry, sorry.
Good
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
good one. So, I mean, I think that is where Shami, I think a combination of fitness and bad form in IPL, which
yeah.
effectively like lost him his
Agree.
place. Siraj, I am not entirely sure what are they planning for him. He has honestly not been that great in ODI and white ball for a while. Like if
Yeah,
on
I think he's a in my opinion, and I don't mean this as a sort of a backhanded compliment. I think he should be our test bowler in the sense that he's that workhorse of the team. Like you can expect him to stay fit and keep bowling.
Hmm.
We can argue if he's as effective always, but time and over, I think he's earned his spot overall in the test team, and he can continue to play in the test team. ODI, yeah, it's again. I don't think it's no fault of his. It's just that overall, in terms of as they've come right, as they've come to call it these days, combination form, blah blah blah. I think the others just pip him, but which I think is fine. Like that
Yeah,
is fine.
I think it's gonna be. Yeah, I mean, and anyhow, even if he is not in the contention, I would still think it's gonna be Prasid. Sorry, it's gonna be Bumrah, Arshdeep, Harshit Rana, and then you will have a certain Prasid Krishna. So, I mean, that's pretty much it for me. I mean, Tilak Verma unfortunately played today, didn't get an opportunity, so can't really judge. Rishabh Pant didn't even play, so
I,
not sure.
I think he I think he just played in state quota. People were hoping Nitish Kumar Reddy to play. He didn't get a chance. But
Yeah.
dude, of Tilak Verma, talking about fielders, I do you remember the save he got in the second
Yep.
ODI?
Yep.
Oh
Unbelievable.
my goodness, crazy dude!
Unbelievable.
Like hats off to him. Like
Oh
to
man.
pull something of that caliber is
I think in this new gen, the two players whom I see having that kind of a fielding impact as a certain Suresh Raina had when he came into the
oh
team is actually Nitish Kumar Reddy and Tilak Verma. Because I
agree.
feel in tests, Nitish Kumar was actually putting his body on the line in test matches, which I've
Yep.
not seen from most fielders. So I'll definitely. He's susceptible to errors. I've seen him make errors.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of the energy and the commitment on the field, he's up there. And Tilak Verma 100% because, yeah, I mean, he's an amazing fielder, man. I mean, he takes those catches, he's a boundary rider, he has good ground coverage. So I definitely think he's somebody who's up there. With the Indian team, it seems like there are so many options. Like there are with IPL and whatever, there's so many options. We are not entirely sure what is your best 11. Like if tomorrow somebody is to wake you up and say, pick your best 11, I don't know if even Gambhir or the coaching team knows what their best 11 is.
No, I don't think so. And I think Gambhir's mantra is he has this very ultra ambitious, ultra unachievable concept of horses for courses. And he expects to have a pool of, say, 20 players. Like, I'm not saying squad, I'm saying overall, he wants 20 high performing. I won't say he wants. For his plan and strategy to succeed,
to succeed. Yes.
he would need such high performing players, like 20 high performing players that he can pick and choose and like plug the gaps and be like, hey, this is the condition, this condition suits you, go play. Because I feel a lot of these players are still learning, and a lot of them are in this team more so on the
Promise
back
of
of
potential.
their potential than merit of actually having put that performances in, which is fine. Well, we can argue some other day if that's right or wrong. You cannot have in a squad of 15 players, you cannot have 6 7 that are on potential and are still trying to prove themselves.
Perfectly
That
put.
is yeah. So but yeah, that's my thing. He has this very ultra high, very futuristic, sort of plan or strategy, which right now we do not have, players playing at that caliber, at that sort of potential to deliver. So yeah.
I mean, that's a fair call, and maybe at some point in the next few years, you he manages to get that when all of these
I
players
hope
are
he
in their prime.
does for the greater good of
Yeah.
the Indian cricket team than him. I mean, I have nothing against him, honestly. I hope he succeeds because
His success
that's a
is
function of exactly that's a function of Indian team succeeding. I don't want Indian team to play bad and him getting a sack. So that would suck. So
yeah. I mean, having said that, now like after all the doom and gloom of the tests, ODI
hmm
came, Rocco came back, they turned everything around, India won. I mean, I'm just saying for fun's sakes, it's Rocco. But I mean, obviously, they did add that glam, they did add that performance, the maturity, and Indian team has been traditionally good with ODI cricket. Now it's gonna be T20s, 5 T20s, which is gonna be super interesting to see how we end up playing because T20 World Cup is in India, right?
yes,
So
it's going to be great. Going to look forward to it.
absolutely. So actually, we'll catch up on the other everything that's happening in cricket in a separate episode because
We
I
could do
think
so. Yeah,
we've
yeah,
gone so
absolutely.
long. Yep.
Oh, sure.
Awesome. So please like, share, and subscribe. Do follow us if you like the content that we are giving, and please do comment to see if you like something that we'd like to specifically talk about. Have a wonderful day.